Welcome to the Eating at a Meeting podcast. I'm your host, Tracy Stuckrath, dietary needs expert, certified meetings manager, certified food protection manager. I have searched the globe to find people and businesses who are creating safe, sustainable, and inclusive food and beverage experiences for their employees, guests, and communities. In each episode, you will find authentic conversations about how food and beverage impacts inclusion, sustainability, culture, community, health, and wellness. I know that sounds like a lot, but we're going to cover it all. Are you ready to feed engagement, nourish inclusion, and bolster your bottom line? If so, let's go. Hey, everybody. And I'm so excited to be at Catering Source this week in Austin, Texas. It's Catering Source and the special event. And it is a convention center full of catering chefs and event planners from universities. I met somebody from Barbados yesterday, a catering company from Barbados, which was awesome. But right now I'm bringing you Joshua House, and he was a speaker at one of the division events called The Art of Catering Food. And he was talking about we eat with our eyes. And so I wanted to have him tell you what he talked about in that episode. That education session. So, hey, Joshua.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. Pleasure to be here.
I'm so excited to have you here. And you are with the JDK Group out of
Camp Hill, Pennsylvania.
Camp Hill, Pennsylvania. Okay. So actually give everybody a little bit of background of your catering, what your job is, and what your background is in catering to right now.
Okay. So I have been in catering for about 6 years now. I originally started in restaurants. So I did that old hustle and bustle and the cutthroatness, and then I finally found a little bit of a brighter side in the catering world, and knowing that I can work a 9 to 5 Monday through Friday, only have a solid one day that's a 12-hour shift.
Okay. Only a 12-hour shift.
Only a 12-hour shift.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah.
So, and then now talk about. We were just having a conversation with somebody from the restaurant show talking about coming from the restaurant world to the catering world.
Yes.
How is it different?
So the difference is your shifts, really. And then also trying to figure out so I think being from the restaurant, I think I have a different perspective.
Okay.
And I do try to bring some of the restaurant quality plates into the catering.
Okay.
And right now it's just trying to find that balance.
Okay.
Obviously, we can't go too far above and beyond with what we do, but we can get very close.
And it's much different because even though you might have 100 plates in a dinner at a restaurant, in a catering function, you're serving those 100 plates at one time.
Yes.
And that's one of the big differences.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's where you got to find that balance.
Okay. Now, we eat with our eyes first. So talk about what you talked about in that session, and what can caterers bring to the table when they're doing that, and what can meeting planners really think about the food and beverage when we eat with our eyes first.
Right. So eating with our eyes first, we as humans always try to find the beauty in everything when it comes to where you live, your faces,
right,
all that stuff. So I've always believed that we as caterers or chefs, we need to corrugate a plate that resembles that.
Okay.
Because you can look at something and be like, it doesn't look too appealing, and then automatically your appetite is gone.
Right. Well, and Caitlin was just saying, we have this thing about putting every single thing on the plate, and you like white space.
Yes, I do enjoy negative space. So we are all artists, I believe, as chefs. And my favorite artist of all time is Pablo Picasso.
Okay.
And I love just how abstract he was, how he bent the rules. He did things that other artists would probably never even think of doing during his time. And so I believe in the abstractness. I believe in negative space. I believe in bright, vibrant colors.
Okay.
I believe in, greens, purples, pinks.
Okay. And not just in the broccolini that you're putting on your plate or the...
No, I like, when it comes to the vibrant colors, I enjoy making my sauces the vibrant. I enjoy being able to have a nice piece of, ground filet, but then accompanied by a very vibrant, maybe green mojo verde. Or maybe a beet puree. Something vibrant, something to contrast to play off of.
Getting people to eat their vegetables without thinking they're eating their vegetables.
There you go.
And yesterday you were talking about those sauces and really how to use them and like spread them across the plate, or talk about how, like, because eating with your eyes, it's not just looking at that filet and that other things. What else adds to that? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
What adds to, I mean, this is not necessarily the design of the plate itself, but what you're putting on the plate.
Right. So I think with sauces or anything, I think it just adds a different level to the plate. In a sense.
Okay. And you're like talking swiping sauces across the plate.
Yeah. So I always, whenever I make my sauces, I do try to make the consistency of the sauce very universal.
Okay.
To where that I can manipulate it in many different ways. I can do a swoosh. I can pipe it. I can do dots with a squeeze bottle.
Okay.
So like I do. So I will never plate the same sauce the same way.
Okay.
So like anytime that I go out to an event or anything like that, I think of a different way that, like, okay, well, we did this last week. Let's do something else this week.
Okay. So every client is getting a different kind of plate.
Yes.
So even though you may be serving the filet mignon with broccolini, the way you plate it is different.
Yes.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
And I also think that keeps, because I think chefs can get into a little bit of lull if they're doing the same thing over and over and over again. And so like little things of just changing the plate design kind of keeps chefs more involved, keeps their attention, keeps us moving. So we're all innovative people.
Right.
We have to be innovative with, the career that we're in, and you can never get too complacent.
Right.
That would be the failure of you or your company.
Okay. Well, and I think Catering Source here is all about that innovation and what can we do differently to enliven it. And do you think there's a level that we could take it too far? I mean, are we so ingrained in having restaurant quality food at a catered event? Is there a way that it might backfire on us?
In my opinion, I think failure builds you to be a better person.
Okay.
And so when it comes to sealing or doing too much, I think that all depends on you.
Okay.
I don't think there necessarily is a ceiling. At the end of the day, your food and your dishes are a reflection of you.
Right.
So as long as that passion is there, as long as you're doing what you want to do, then I don't think there is a way to fully fail.
That I like that, and I sat in Margaret Brower's session earlier today, and she was talking reinvention. She used Taylor Swift as her example, but constantly reinventing.
Yes,
and self-reflection, and I really like that. That's the same kind of concept.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I sat in a session on Monday, and just doing things that you wouldn't normally do. There was a chef up there, and he was talking about how he took cucumber skin and fried it.
Oh.
And
does it make it not taste like cucumbers? Because
still tastes a little bit like cucumber, but he said that it creates more of like a kind of like a nori seaweed umami kind of flavor. And so same thing. Like I would have never thought of to peel cucumber skin, throw it in the fryer, and then here we are to where it's one of his garnishes for his dishes.
Yeah.
So there's so many things to do with food.
Right.
It's methods, just go outside of the box, do something different.
Right.
Keep your creativity and your curiosity always at a peak.
And how do you help meeting planners do that when they come to you and say, okay, we have this gala, or we have a wedding, or it's my kid's 10th birthday party? How do you work with those planners or those clients who design that food and beverage to meet their goals?
So what I do, custom menus is when I really get to shine and thrive. So I do try to find a balance between what I want to serve, but also what they would like to see.
Okay.
And so I believe whenever it comes to like your clients, I think as a chef, I think you have more of a say in what they want.
Okay.
Because I think they have an idea of what they want.
Okay.
But they kind of lean on us to kind of tell them what they want.
Right.
So I think, we as chefs, we can get the client to do what we want to do.
You have to make it their idea.
Exactly.
Okay. All right.
Make it seem like it's coming from them, but really I'm pushing my agenda.
Gotcha. Okay. but it is kind of making us know that we're filling what we want, but with the skill set that you have.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I do want to yesterday when I was or I guess it was 2 days ago now, you were up there and you had a slide on food allergies.
Yes.
And which always piques my interest is food allergies. How do you meet food allergies? And I was chatting with another young lady here a few minutes ago about food allergies and how they manage it at events. But how do you approach individuals? How do you approach clients who have a group of people with different dietary restrictions?
So if I had to be completely honest, probably a few years ago, I was that chef that would get a little upset if I saw a vegan on, the guest list or anything like that. But then, I had a realization moment of, we at the end of the day, we're in the hospitality industry,
right?
And our job is to provide and to serve our clients. And so I've fully embraced the food allergies.
Thank you.
And so now we do bring in product that we're we don't use gluten, we use gluten-free soy sauce, called tamari. We'll bring in egg replacer, to kind of help combat that. But I also correlate my menus now to where if I do know I have a vegan, the only thing that I want to be different on their plate is the protein.
Wow. Okay.
So I will make gluten-free. Everything will be gluten-free, vegetarian minus that protein. Mm-hmm. And I think with that, I don't think it's right if we give the vegans or the gluten-frees a particularly special plate.
Right.
I think they should have the same experience as the rest of the guests are having.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And we're able to do that as long as we can, corrugate these menus that are gluten-free or allergen-friendly. I just went to a restaurant last night called Ember Kitchen.
Somebody else was talking about that place.
Yes. Very cool place. Upscale Mexican cuisine.
Okay.
But on their menu, about our whole set menu that we had that night, every single dish was gluten-free.
I have to go.
every dish was gluten-free. Okay. And majority of them, we had about 8 dishes. Okay. 6 of them were vegetarian.
Wow. Okay.
The only meat that we had chicken and Wagyu steak.
Okay.
But everything else that we had last night was gluten-free and vegan.
Wow. And that's amazing.
Yes. And you are noticing there's a big, huge trend that everybody is starting to cut gluten out of their diet.
Right.
A lot of people are starting to eat more healthy. And a lot of that is because the proteins are starting to be, the quality is very low.
Okay.
You see a lot of posts of people saying, is anybody noticing the difference in chicken at grocery stores? Feels different. Smells different. The skin isn't as pink. It's more of it's darker. So you're noticing a lot of people, they're going more towards the healthy route.
Right.
And they're cutting out the protein a lot more and more, and they are becoming more vegetarians and more vegans in this world. And we can't provide for the vegans and vegetarians.
Right.
We won't have jobs.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's not, and even the food allergic, right?
Yeah.
Because with the number of people that have food allergies or other celiac disease or other medical conditions,
yes.
It really is an opportunity to grow your business.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Have you seen change in the business by learning how to streamline those processes and those dishes to make them gluten-free? Have you seen a different change in growth?
In the industry itself?
Industry itself or with JDK?
In the industry itself, I think a lot of people, the same thing. There was a class yesterday where he's a barbecue joint. And the name of his company is the Bacon Cartel.
Bacon Cartel.
The Bacon Cartel.
Okay.
So as you would assume, a lot of meat.
Right. Pork.
But he did a study and he saw that how the world is changing.
Right.
And so now he has started to implement a lot of vegetarian dishes.
Wow.
Today he served us what he called bone marrow.
Right.
But really what it was hearts of palm.
I need to interview him.
Hearts of palm cut in half, and he just removed the middle, and it resembled bone marrow. And then he served it with a beef tartare.
That sounds delicious.
He put all of the same ingredients that you would in a beef tartare.
Right.
but it was completely vegan.
Wow.
So I do notice that a lot of chefs are starting to realize that, like, if we don't jump on this trend,
right,
we're going to be in trouble.
Right. Interesting. Oh, I love that. I have to grab his name from you later. Well, what was his name? Do you remember?
Honestly, I do not.
Okay, we'll look it up. We'll look it up. I'll find it out. That's really interesting, and I think it's so important. And there was, tragedies with food allergies and things like that, because you don't want that to happen either at your event. You don't want that bad PR, mm-hmm. right? And so I love the fact that you're learning how to do that, and you're learning, and you're already doing it, yes. right, in a variety of ways. So, okay, what is anything coming out of? What are you excited about Catering Source? Because today's the official day of all the education. Right. What are you excited to learn?
So the thing that I love about Catering Source is everybody has something to teach you, and everybody has something mm-hmm. to learn. So really, what I enjoy the most about Catering Source is the networking and realizing that we are all in this together. Mm-hmm. We, at times, I think like, I got to be the only person in the world that's going through right. this. And then when you get to talk to people and everything, they start to tell you the same stories of like right. what you're going through. I think it just gives more of enlightenment, and it gives us that extra motivation to right. go, because, we're in a very stressful industry. Yep. And sometimes the people around us on our normal day-to-day don't understand those stresses. Right. They don't understand what chefs go through. They don't understand what sales reps go through. Right. They don't. But then be able to get around people that are like us and right. do the same things, it gives us like an extra motivation, like a eureka moment of, it's not that bad. Right. Well, it reminds me, Todd Annis from Crew Catering, I think he said it last year on my podcast. He said, well, in listening to his podcast that he had, is like, all of the things he does, or you all do as caterers, right? Building a tent in the middle of a field and whatever. It's like, we meeting planners, we get these crazy ideas from our clients. They're like, we want to do this. And then we go and put it on you. And we don't really realize all the hoops that you go through right. to make sure that our vision and our client's vision comes through. And I think it's really important that we take that into consideration. Oh, 100%. Yeah. What is the craziest thing you've had to do for a client? The craziest thing I had to do for a client, I would say, so I would say the craziest thing was, I guess, the groom and the husband. I mean, the groom and the dad of the wife. Uh-huh. They had a very inside joke of hot dogs. Okay. So the joke was, the groom asked that if, whenever we brought his dish out, uh-huh. that all we did was gave him 3 hot dogs and then put New York Mets in ketchup on the plate. Okay. And that was kind of like just kind of get little laughs. But that uh-huh. was the first time I think I ever had to do something like that, Just serve some hot dogs. Just serve some hot dogs. Did he get the regular meal later? Yes, it was, yeah. So we served the hot dogs, and then he got a good laugh out of it. And then afterwards, our server came behind and removed the hot dogs and gave him his actual dish. Yes. The things that we do for our clients. Yes. Yeah. Okay, so one final question, which I ask everybody. What does safety, sustainability, and inclusion mean to you when you're talking about a catered food function? So now I have time to think about this question. Because I bombarded you yesterday. So I think what I think that is I think the safe is kind of now is venturing into the food allergens. Okay. Safe meaning less of a chance of igniting that allergy. Okay. Sustainability is the part of doing the same thing, doing it over and over and over. And then inclusive is bringing our clients into what we do. Okay. Because just like the class that I went to yours last year, inclusive is our clients want to know what exactly we are doing. Right. They want to know where our food is coming from. They want to know the quality of it. Yep. They want to know how we cook it. They want to know all these things. And so I think it all comes down to being safe, sustainable, inclusive with our clients. Awesome. And giving them what it is that they want. Right. And giving them what they need. Giving them what they want with your twist on it. Yes. Really, it's what I want. Well, but they want it.
Well, and the thing is you're the expert in that, right? I mean, they come with this idea and it's kind of reinventing, saying, okay, I like that, but let's do it with this twist because you know what's implementable. Right. And like, hey, I saw this and here's an Instagram picture. And we're like, okay, but let's do it.
Let's do it my
way. But with also reinventing yourself.
Absolutely.
But, okay, Joshua. So how does everybody, thank you so much.
Absolutely. It was a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. And how can everybody get a hold of you?
Yes. So on Instagram, my name is Chef Joshua House. And then on Facebook, it is Joshua House. And I work at the JDK Group, and all of our handles for that is at the JDK Group.
All right, awesome. So Chef Joshua House and then the JDK Group.
Absolutely.
Okay, perfect. Well, and I will put that in the comments as well, so everybody has those in the show notes. So I appreciate it. And thank you so much for joining.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. All right. Everybody, until next time, stay safe and eat well. Thanks for listening to the Eating at a Meeting podcast, where every meal matters. I'm Tracy Stuckrath, your food and beverage inclusion expert. Call me and let's get started right now on creating safe and inclusive food and beverage experiences for your customers, your employees, and your communities. Share the podcast with your friends and colleagues at our Eating at a Meeting Facebook page and on all podcast platforms. To learn more about me and receive valuable information, go to tracystuckrath.com. And if you'd like more information on how to feed engagement, nourish inclusion, and bolster your bottom line, then visit eatingatameeting.com.